so much for giving a short brief about yourself. So my question is, you know me, I am executive assistant almost for 18 years, and I dedicated myself for this job. I love my job a lot, and I'm trying to see where we are globally. How do you see this position for a company? This is the first question that I can ask you.
It's okay. Executive assistant, it is very important position because the executive assistant is the right arm, basically, of the boss.
Yeah.
She's the one following him, I would say even 24 hours a day sometimes. She should know everything about him. She should know the way he works. She should know his expectations. She should know his character. She should know everything about him. Okay, so it is very, very important. The executive assistant gets along very well with the boss, and it's going to be like a mutual understanding. The assistant must understand the boss, and the boss must understand the assistant to have the best out of it. Because if the boss is too selfish and he doesn't basically try to understand and cope with the assistant's behavior and character, it's not working. So there must be like a mutual understanding. This is what I've learned over the years. Okay, so it's a very important position because the executive assistant is the operative, basically, weapon of the boss in a way. Okay, the boss takes decision and the executive assistant execute somehow, not only, but is basically the intermediate between the boss, the executive, and the employees. She's the one basically carrying all the information and sometimes even somehow modifying the information on the way to the receiver, let's say. So it is a very important position.
Thank you so much. You told me that you have been in China and also in Dubai. So do you have any experience on executive assistant position in that countries while you used to work for another company? Any observation from your side?
I think there's no difference. Once you work, of course, I am Italian, okay? So no matter if I am in China, in Italy, in Dubai, or in Turkey, my way of working is always the same, okay? So to me, an executive assistant must do certain things regardless the place where I am. So when I was working in China, I had this lady who was my assistant, and she was very good because she was even anticipating my needs sometimes. She knew exactly what I wanted. She knew exactly what I was expecting from her, okay? So actually what an executive assistant must do is try as quick as possible to get along with his boss and to adapt to his way of working. Regardless, he's from Italy, he's from India. So basically your skills are if you can adapt to different people, to different nationalities, different cultures, different way of working. You must adapt to them. They won't adapt to you as assistant, okay? So the skills of an assistant is to adapt to whoever she works with. It's not vice versa, because you're the assistant, he's the boss.
It's very important. The awareness of the executives about this job description is also important. It shows how this position should be in the company. If your executive is not aware of how it should be, so you can just answer the phones. If he has enough consciousness about this job description, so you can be a crucial one in the company. So that's why I asked this question to you, you know.
You must be. Just to answer the phone, you're useless. If you just have to answer the phone or take notes, you're useless. You don't need an executive assistant. You just need a normal secretary. Whoever can do this job. Executive assistant must be two-step, you know.
I have many friends in other countries. So time to time we are in contact, you know, how you are, what you are doing in the company, what responsibilities you have. Especially the ones in USA told me that they're also being involved in HR payroll issues, whilst the ones in France can have more critical responsibilities like preparing legal documents, following up official things, while some in Turkey are just answering the phones, receiving the people for the company. That's it. So it depends on also how your manager is seeing this position. That's why I asked you how it's going in.
It depends on how you can win his trust.
Yeah.
Okay. Because at the very beginning, you don't know each other. Okay. You don't know each other. When you start working together, you don't know each other. The boss doesn't know you, you don't know him, right?
Right.
So he's the boss, he's doing his job. You have to win his trust. So basically, in the quickest possible time, you have to make him understand that you are a trustworthy person, that you are reliable, he can rely on you, he can trust you, he can give you more and more responsibilities because you can deal with all these things, you know? But it's you that you have to convince him that you are able and capable to do all these things. So it's your task to win his trust. And by the time that you succeed and you win his trust, he will give you more and more responsibility and things to do. Of course, an executive assistant cannot bring the coffee, answer the phone, and take notes. This is the base. Yeah, you can bring the coffee to him in the morning and say, good morning, Mr. Whatever, Ataturk, this is my coffee. But this is not your task. As an executive assistant, you must be, a level, below. You must do many other things, even issuing legal, if you are into these things, of course, or you can even correct maybe his letters or emails, because maybe your English, let's say, is better than his, who knows, or your Turkish is better than his. You must do many things. You can even suggest at one point, if your trust and if your understanding of his position and his job is so good, he can even listen to you. Why not? You can even suggest something. When you're aware of a problem that he has been working on, you can even suggest, in my opinion, I would do this and that. If the boss is a smart guy, he would listen to your suggestion. Then maybe he doesn't take it, or maybe he does if he's a smart one. You know what I mean? Executive assistant must be like the second wife, but in a best way, in a better way.
Yes, right. Because you know everything, you have everything.
Everything. You have his life in your hands. Yeah. And a good executive assistant must know how to deal with the boss's wife and kids, because for sure you will have to deal with them.
Yeah, exactly. Because
to some extent,
part of
the family.
Manager. Yeah, the family.
Even though they're not working in the company, even though they are like out of the company, but you have to, because his wife will call you because she's looking for him, and maybe he's busy in a meeting, or he's away, or he's doing something that you know but nobody has to know. There are many things that an executive assistant can keep secrets.
Yeah,
It's a different position, and you must be an intelligent person, smart, quick, very quick in doing things and understanding things. This is very important. If you are like that, it's not working.
Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you so much. So from your point of view, let's say, what qualifications are the most important ones for an executive assistant? Could you please count me 3 ones? What qualifications they should have?
First of all, this is my opinion, is experience. Okay, it depends. If she's new in the business, if let's say it's her first job, she has no experience, then in that case she must speak at least 3 or 4 languages. This is very important. English, she must be very fluent in English. And then it depends on your job, she must speak other languages. Let's say your company is dealing 90% with the Chinese market. If she speaks Chinese, it's very good, because you can bring her along with you to China, and she can help you even with the translation and everything. Okay, so languages are very important. So if I would be an executive, and let's say I have been working with a company dealing with Russia, I would choose an executive assistant who speaks Russian fluently. Maybe I would choose a Russian executive assistant even. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
understand.
languages are very important. Of course, experience is important. If you're an executive, a big executive, you will never get an executive assistant at your first job. It won't happen. You're already an experienced one, okay?
Yeah,
Very
okay.
experienced. So this is very important. Uh, I think nowadays university degrees is preferred, okay, in certain positions, especially, I would say, again, it depends on the job. If I have an attorney at law and I need an executive assistant, she must be graduated in law. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
It's difficult to tell. I think a university degree is required for certain positions. It's preferred. It is better. It's one skill more. It's some,
Uh-huh.
plus than you have in your resume. And then she must be very flexible, very intelligent, and very fast to understand and do things. This is a very important skill. Very important.
Fast, be quick.
Fast. And then you have to take note when he's speaking, you take note and you have to be fast because you have to, when you take note of your boss speaking, you just have to write the most important topics that is basically talking about, because you cannot write everything he says. You have to understand what is very important to write down, because when you will summarize his speech with maybe 15 small sentences, you have to, summarize a speech of 1 hour sometimes. So the most important key points. So you have to be quick and understand what is important and what it is not, for instance.
Yeah, right. So you can at least remember the rest when you have the most critical ones and you write it down, and then you can
write down the rest. Will be a consequence of those points. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much for this useful and valuable information. So I'm done with the question. That's it. But really appreciated your answers to me. As I said, it's appreciated for my side as being an executive assistant, because I'm trying to add value, at least myself, to this job description. And my target is to put consciousness of this job description to everybody, even the ones in universities, in colleagues, because time to time when it's requested, I'm going to universities or high schools to give seminar to the students who are willing to be an executive assistant in the future. They came near me and asked me, maybe in the last seminar when I was at high school, we have question in our mind, Serpil Hanım, maybe you can give us an idea. We will be a secretary or executive assistant. How you see that? I'm trying
Big
to
difference. Big difference.
Convince that.
Nothing to do. Secretary has nothing to do with executive assistant. Secretary is a different thing. The executive assistant is the shade of the boss. In Italy, we say so. Maybe in English doesn't mean anything, but it means that he must follow the boss in everything, not just follow like my cat is following me, but follow the boss mentally. She must know exactly what he thinks, what he wants, what he's expecting from you, even without asking. Okay? This is very important. Of course, this will be an achievement that you will get over the years. You cannot understand your boss in 2 weeks. You will be like a magician. But, over the years or the month, it depends, you must really get to know him as much as possible. And that's why it's important to know also his personal life. Because by knowing his personal life, you know his character, how he is really in real life. Because when he's working, he might be a different person because you are the boss. And when you're in personal life, you may be very relaxed and cool, even fun to be with sometimes, But maybe at work, he's very rigid and strict and very, like this. But in normal life, he's sweet and caring and a lovely person.
And
so you must get to know him.
What I am also doing that.
And I smoke during the interview.
And Pietro, what I am also doing that, I'm sending email to universities in Turkey, asking let's say, how do you call it in English? But anyway, I'm trying to convince them to call me as a speaker to the university. to allow me to give seminar to students there to put the awareness, because it's very important. I graduated from Marmara University, so when I was going there, I had no idea about this job description. We were just seeing all things in the books, that's it. No ones are invited from sector to give us more examples how it's going on in reality, because the books are reality is different. So that's why I'm sending emails to universities that please accept me as a speaker in the universities.
Yes. From the books, you can learn, you have good guidelines of your job by reading a book. But the experience is the one makes you a great executive assistant or not. It depends how you take advantage of your experience.